What's up? Hope everybody's tuning in. We're going to try to do some cool stuff, or show you some cool stuff on the new Axial Racing SCX10 We have one in hand here, one of the JLUs. We'll probably let a few more people populate on here, but how's everybody doing?
I can hear you all right. And all that.
Yeah, make sure the you guys check the audio for me. Someone just tell me, is it pretty good? We can always turn it up on our end if we need to, but I feel like I'm talking at a respectable volume. Sometimes I have trouble controlling the volume of my voice.
What's up, Freddie? Jack, got a lot of people tuning in.
Cool.
I'll play the Wizard of Oz from behind the scenes.
Yeah, Casey's gonna do all the magic.
Yeah, so if you guys have
I just have this.
the pretty face. If you have any questions along the way, just shout them out in the comments.
I guess we'll go ahead and kind of get started. People will kind of populate as they need to, and if we need to circle back with some questions and things, we can do that. I guess first thing I want to talk about is, we haven't had anything available for the SCX10 because it presented some new challenges due to some of the redesigned features on this truck. So I'm going to go through those real quick. Basically, let me pull this body off real quick, and that brings me to my first point. Although it is nice to have these, hidden body posts, or basically no body posts, they basically mounted the body to some brackets in the front, and then the rear mounts of this body are actually, there's into the body here. The posts come down instead of going up like a traditional Lexan body. So what happens here is normally we, with most of our bumpers, we build brackets that go on the outside of the frame rails on both the front and the rear. And with this new design, we couldn't do that. And let me show you why. Basically, this rear cross member that you see right here, that's normally something you can remove or leave in with our other bumpers, but you notice that they integrated these body mounts into that cross member. Well, if you look on the side here, there's no way to put a bracket, even if we removed this bumper from the cross member, there's no way to put a bracket on the outside of the frame due to the fact that they have a gusseted mount for the body there. When we move to the front side, it's kind of the same thing. You've got this bumper that's most of these bumpers are standard axial post mounts, and we never have basically made our bumpers mount that way, just due to the fact that when we build a metal bumper, I don't see the reason why you'd want to put a post into a plastic cross member. I think you defeat some of the purpose of putting a metal bumper on there. So in the front, same thing. You've got the bumper, and this one will come out real easy because I don't think I have it screwed in there. You take off that front bumper. Now the front is interesting because you actually have these front brackets that it's almost, I think these are the same brackets that are on the Unimog, and we didn't have a problem doing Unimog bumpers. But here's the next thing. I don't know if you guys know, but the frame ends a lot sooner than on the original SCX10 or the original SCX10. And let me show you. I'm going to remove these brackets off the front to show you what I mean. So normally we'd be able to remove these brackets. We'd be able to take our bumpers, slide them over the outer edge of the frame rails, then put those brackets back on, and we can make it work, and the bodies will mount. This one, if we take these brackets off, you'll notice that the cross member itself makes up a front portion of the frame. So when I pull this off, you're going to see that the frame ends what I would call prematurely in comparison to the other ones. Basically, in the front here, it's coming down, and instead of coming down and leveling back out where you get something to mount to, the frame ends. So that presented some challenges for us. So with that, let's get into some of the solutions that we've got. Basically, you remove both the cross members and both the bumpers. Those come right off. Here's the front one, and like I said, the front one you'll see actually makes up, it turns into a front portion of the frame basically, and it ends as it's coming down. So with that, we had to redesign all new brackets, and it's not just new brackets, it's a whole new system of mounting, which unfortunately for the bumpers in the front, and if you're gonna, and this is all, I guess, let me get back to, if you're gonna use the stock body, you know, that's how we have to basically engineer all of our stuff. I think it looks like you can put body posts in this chassis and then start to run other bodies. When that happens, we're going to have to just kind of make adjustments, and we have some solutions for that as well. But just getting into what we have for the stock body so that you can retain those body mounts on the front and the rear. So basically what we've done is we've taken a bracket that's laser cut out of 10 gauge steel, so they're quite a bit thicker than the normal stuff. And what we've done is we've made it to where these will fit right up inside the C-channel of the frame. You can see there, that slides right up in there. And then that's allowed us, and bear with me, I'm not going to hook everything up 100%, but we're going to get some screws in it so that we can make it functional. So just give me a second, and we can get this, like I said, semi-mounted up. So basically what we're being able to do now is we're being able to mount a bumper and then still retain these front body mounts. Here we get just, like I said, these screws are just miscellaneous stuff that I'm putting in here for the time being, just to show that it can be done. I'm not going to put nuts on the back of that yet, but as you can see, now we've got a front bumper that's actually very similar to the one that comes with it, but it's metal, and now it's solidly mounted to the frame, and we've still retained these two body post mounts. Okay, that takes us to the rear. We've taken the whole cross member out. It does come with these nice inner fenders, and with that, there are 2 holes in the rear part of the frame on each side, and that would be great for, you know, mounting our bumpers on this. So what we'll do, we'll just take one of our standard rear bumpers, and what we've done is we've made provisions for you to be able to integrate those body mounts. And basically, if you look at this, there's your body mounts on that one, and we've done the same thing, giving you holes to mount the body. The one limiting factor with both these new bumpers and the way that this body is mounted is you will not have any adjustability. We normally have a little bit of fore-aft adjustability on our bumpers. Unfortunately, with this stuff being locked in, we can't do that, especially since the front bumper mounts go up into the frame at a 45-degree angle. You know, even if you put slots in there, it's going to move down and forward and back and up. So what I'll do is I'll put this rear bumper on real quick. You'll have to drill and basically, or melt a couple holes in the factory inner fenders. And basically, I'm not going to, I haven't done that on this model yet, but we'll be able to mount up this bumper anyway so that it will work. And basically what we're doing is we're sandwiching our bumper bracket in between the inner fender and the frame. And then once again, you only have to drill through the plastic. I mean, you could use either a body ream or even just heat something up to be able to poke it through and there's already another existing hole in the frame. So basically, that bumper will mount up as such, and then you'll still have the body post mounts in the back. So with that being said, we're going to take this body, put this back on, and this has actually become a little bit of a challenge because this body, with all these inner fenders and these rock sliders that they have that you have to have the body lined up into, it doesn't go on quite as easy as one might think. It always wants to get caught on a few things here and there. Okay, so let's see what we got here. I think we're fairly close. Okay, I think we'll get that to work. So let me throw some pins in here so that I can pick it up and things won't fall apart. but the front bracket doesn't interfere at all with the factory mounting of the body. Pins go in all the way. And then same thing with the rear. And the rear is going to be a little loose right now, but that's because I didn't put 2 screws in it. See if I can these body pins in. Right there. And right there. Okay. So now we basically got our stuff bolted on. Pretty slick rear bumper. Pretty cool front bumper. This is about this factory approach angle. Basically, this is our new low profile narrow front bumper. We also have a full size, like a narrow, not a narrow full size, but just our standard narrow. And this one you'll be able to actually mount a winch on the front of the vehicle. You give up a little bit of approach angle, but you're able to mount a winch. And then for all you comp guys, we actually built a comp bumper, and it had to be built a little different than our normal comp because in the rules, you know, the bumper has to be wider than the frame rails. Well, with the new bumper brackets going inside the frame rails, we have to make sure that we have a piece that extends out past the frame rails. And we'll show you guys that in a few minutes. But I guess getting back to this, with it mounted, since the body mounts are integrated into the bumper, you won't have any adjustment one way or another. We'll probably make a few different renditions, you know, here and there, because, you know, this bumper is pretty, you know, tight anyways, and you can still add tire carriers, and you can add trailer hitches, things like that. These can all be, you know, additions, and then you can have shackle mounts, and those are real tucked in on the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then same thing with the front bumper. Once again, the brackets bolt on to mount the body. And we can't really slot the bumper because it won't move in the right direction. It won't move this way, it'll move this way. So, like I said, those were the challenges that we had to work with. I think we've got some nice stuff, though, for it, and it'll be solid because it allows you to use these you know, stock bodies. Now, once everybody goes and decides they want to put a different body on and they use regular body posts, in the rear, any of our rear bumpers will work. Like any of them that we've had on the site for years would work. The front, unfortunately, we're going to have to take those at a case-by-case scenario, and we're actually going to have, we have some adapter brackets that will come down out of this frame and then come parallel, and then you'll be able to bolt up whatever bumper you want with whatever offset, height-wise, etc. But it'll still be pretty body chassis specific. That takes me to the next part. They do have these nifty rock sliders. I don't have any complaints. In my opinion, I feel like they stick out a little too far. You know, they're all the way out at the fender. Let me see if I can get a profile view of that. So they stick out to the edge of those fender flares. We actually came up with some simpler sliders than our normal ones that bolt onto the frame, where you can get the nice, you know, skid plates and whatnot that don't have, you know, all these little hang-ups on there. Unfortunately, I haven't tested it yet, but I think you could still unbolt these skid plates and use some of our older sliders. I feel like this is the same SCX10 skid plate that they've had for all 3 generations. So I feel like if you want to take this whole skid plate off, you can bolt on our old style. I don't want to say our old style. I guess I'd say our more, what would you call that? More, a little more higher performance. And then basically, they're a little more involved also for the install. But what we've come up for this is a simpler slider that utilizes just the stock mounting that these have. So let me pull these off real quick. It's literally 2 screws on each side. And then also these factory sliders and this factory body has a little bit of a taper to it. The body is a little narrower in the front than it is in the rear, so we took that into account and we made custom sliders. So let me give you a little sneak peek of those. This is the factory one right here, and then what we've done is we've given you one that will fit into the factory slots, and we've given you a bunch of holes for adjustment here and there. Mainly we made these just for this body because they're tapered. We will shortly have these available for like the SCX10-2, the XJ, the Unimog, and they'll be a simpler slider that you can just bolt right on. So let me bolt those on real quick. Once again, they're just literally two screws. Take the 2 factory screws out, and then I'm actually gonna put these all the way in, which, you know, for the best performance, you're gonna want your rock sliders tucked into the body as far as possible. So I'll put them that way, and then you can also, you know, you can mount them to taste. Basically, if some people like to have them stick out a little further, you know, you can actually make them so they will cover these fender flares. My personal preference, you know, comp-wise and performance-wise, would be otherwise. Let me mount these up, and I think real quick while I'm doing this, I'll mount up the double bar ones as well, so that you can see the difference in the two. Because these will have the same options that our normal sliders do, minus the skid plates. Basically, because you're already retaining the factory skid plate. But I don't know if you can see that. That's a pretty tight mount on that slider right here. Follows the body line. And like I said, you have another hole. You could mount them out, you know, another 5 millimeters or so. And you could even go another one if you felt the need. Let me mount this double bar one up on this side.
And then there's a lot more pictures on the actual website, ScalerFab.com, and you'll be able to drill down with the search feature to get to all the different, you know, items that we're offering now for the SCX10-3.
And once I get this mounted up, I'll actually show you guys a few more options with the front bumper. The rear right now is just the standard rear. We'll probably have some pre-runner stuff coming out because I feel like that would work well on some of this stuff. We just had to really, like I said, once again redesign the whole system for mounting these on this chassis due to the you know, new way that they mounted these bodies. Let me get this one on, and then we'll show you this. This is actually, I like this one a lot. I feel like the double bar is going to be super tight to the body on the bottom, but then up here at the top, it's out just enough to give you a little more coverage for the fender flares. So I really like that double bar look on this. And once again, super simple, bolts right on. 10 gauge steel brackets, the normal 3/16 solid rod. All these parts that you're putting on this machine are stronger than this machine as a whole. And everything obviously we have is guaranteed for the life that, actually not even the life that you own it, for the lifetime of the product. So, so cool. Let me swap out some front bumpers. Once again, this front one that I have on there is very similar to the one that comes on it. A very similar approach angle, very similar look. But as you can see, you can add like front fair lead mounts. And then even with this low profile narrow, you can do trail bars. Then see the shackles on the bottom there, tucked it out of the way.
And we probably won't take the time to mount up both the Stinger and the trail bar, so just let us know if you guys want to see it on the actual vehicle, if you'd rather see the trail bar option or the Stinger, and we'll have him mount one more up to show you.
Well, I'm going to mount the comp one.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to mount the comp one's pretty cool, just because, oh, I'm losing a rear bumper. It's only because I didn't put nuts on this. I didn't put nuts on the back side of this. But we won't worry about that right this second. Like I said, I can probably just throw another screw in there real quick just to hold it in place.
For demonstration purposes.
Just demonstration purposes only. That's correct. There we go. All right. So then once again, front bumper, I didn't put any nuts on this, so this should be a quick, clean swap. I'll pull out these screws that I put in here.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna answer a couple questions.
Sure.
Alex is asking if we have a servo winch mount, so it sits in front of the motor cover and the winch line comes out the bumper. I don't know that we necessarily would do a mount.
We'll have to look at that. We may, because that's another thing I will have to tell you guys. Since we're mounting our bumpers inside the C channel of the frame, that's going to eliminate any aftermarket stuff that other people are trying to put inside the frame. You know, we used to have it going on the outside of the frame. You could use aftermarket servo mounts and you know, chassis mounted servo things. You could use all that, and with this new system, it's going to be tough to do that. Maybe we could integrate with some other companies. We'll have to see down the road how that goes. But for now, you're going to have to pick, I guess, one or the other. I would say if you did a chassis mounted servo winch somewhere, you could just feed the line up through, you know, with some brake tubing or whatnot, and then feed it out through the bumper. Or I think I can actually probably put some of these bumpers on for you guys and not mount the front brackets on there, just so you can see them. So if you were wanting to put a winch on it, we'll just take this trail bar narrow front bumper with shackle mounts. It's going to go in there, and I'm going to literally be able to literally put 2 bolts in this real quick. And you know what? I probably don't even have to. I feel like that fits pretty tight. I put 1 in here just to hold it in place.
And a couple of people are asking when this is available. It's out now on our website, just released right before this live video. So you can go and see all the pictures of different options and mounting instructions and all of that right on our website at ScalerFab.com.
And these new bumpers will all come with extra hardware, basically, because you're going to have to use longer bolts with nuts and everything else to get these mounted up. But I mean, these are super solid. I mean, I can pick up this whole truck by this bumper, and like I said, before you break that, you're going to snap these frame rails off. Just to give you an idea, the normal narrow now, I think I can just slide this on here without the front mounts, and then we'll just get to see the rears on there, so the front's where it goes. So basically, there's the narrow front bumper. And then basically you'll take one of these RC 4-wheel drive winches if you want to do a bumper mounted winch. Now, if you've noticed, I've taken this plate and the mounting plate is flipped 180 degrees. Normally these mounting screws are towards the front. You're going to want to flip that 180 degrees like I have this. If you notice the front of the winch, but the bracket goes towards the back. And what that's going to do is this bumper's already pre-drilled for the mounting holes for that winch. So if I can get the little wire out of the way, but your winch is going to basically tuck right up on there nicely. And then see, it fits on the bumper. Fair lead stays behind the front of the bumper and the stinger so that you don't break it off. Obviously, if you wanted to take the roller fair lead off, you could probably use this with our top fair lead option, which would probably be a little more, stout. But in any case, there's the narrow. Got your little shackle mounts down underneath here. Obviously, you're going to lose a little bit of approach angle, but if we're looking at this, even with that narrow bumper, your approach angle is still pretty darn good. So that'll bring me to my next one I'm going to show you guys, and that's going to be the comp bumper. Now, basically, this one's going to be for you guys that want straight up performance, and you want to be able to get the points at the comps and whatnot.
Now, are these bumpers going to work on the Gladiator?
All of these should work on the Gladiator. The rear we'll have to look at. I imagine it's going to be the same mount, because I think all you do is this actually comes with a 2-piece frame. I don't know if you guys know that or not. It's a 2-piece frame. I think that's how they stretch the wheelbase on these. I feel like the Gladiator, I don't have one in hand. I think it's a little longer wheelbase, but I feel like the body mounts the same in the back, and I bet it's going to be this same, if it's this same bumper mount bracket and this same bumper on the Gladiator or something similar, then our design will still work for that. But yeah, all the front stuff should be the same. With that, let me throw on this comp bumper. This one is raw steel, so it doesn't fit quite as tight, so I'm going to throw a bolt in there to hold this in. This one's going to be straight up performance. Basically, you're going to have something that'll protect only the front end right where the frame rails are, but as I show you here in a minute, it has literally the best approach angle you can get if you want to run this stock body. And basically, we've got that back to about there, so almost near vertical approach angle. But if you can see that, it's real super tight. It fits right up against basically the front of the body here. So I guess with that, if you guys have any questions or if you want to see anything else mounted, let me know. We're probably gonna work on some more designs, maybe some pre-runner stuff, but for the most part, that's what we have for these. And it was a long time coming.
And so basically it's 3 front bumper styles and then multiple options for each style. So really, you can build it to whatever you need it to be.
That is correct. I'll give you guys just a rundown real quick as a quick comparison. We'll take, here's the comp bumper as compared to the low profile narrow bumper. And then we'll bring in basically the regular narrow bumper. And as you can see, I mean, obviously the comp bumper is right up at the body. This one's going to stick out further, but this is going to give you the option to mount that scale winch. So for you guys that want the scale over the performance, this is going to look great with either a stinger or a trail bar with the winch mounted on it. Like I said, you're going to, and then, you know, just in case this doesn't, or you're not running the servo winch, like I said, that'll work just nicely, and actually it looks real scale. Some of the rear bumper options, I think I already showed you. Hitch. I know the Jeep already has a license plate on it, but we can do the same like we do on everything else. License plate recess, hitch, combinations of some of these. The standard one with the shackle mounts that are mounted basically tucked up underneath there, so you get the points for the shackle mounts, and they're still functional, but they don't really add any extra hang-ups. And then everything's available in either like a brushed raw steel, flat black, or the textured truck bed. And everything's backed by our lifetime warranty. Like I said, you break it, we fix it.
Free shipping in the U.S.
Free shipping in the U.S.
Shipping international. We've been very busy in the shop.
We have been. Well, busy in the shop and the R&D. Like I said, these are not your normal, just be able to slap some brackets on it and bolt it up. This took a little extra. Like I said, it'll be, I don't have anything with me. I should have thought ahead a little more. But what we're going to do once you guys start mounting different bodies on here, if you guys could picture this bracket coming down and just having 2 holes, you know, 2 holes that are parallel, that'll come down. Basically, I'm gonna terminate the frame for you so that you can bolt on other bumpers.
It's like gonna
be like a bumper adapter.
Adapter, yeah.
So it'll basically, you know, go into the frame. If you guys could picture this bumper not being on here or welded up, basically you'll be able to continue the frame, and then about right here, it'll cut off, and it's basically you'll have a little steel frame rail there with 2 holes in it to be able to mount bumpers to. Anybody ask any questions or anything?
Back through. Nathan says, "Throw me a fair lead on that comp bumper and take my money."
That's what I'm talking about.
What options did we just?
This one we're not going to do. I didn't put a front plate on this bumper just because I feel like it's not necessary, especially when you're trying to do this like the comp style. We may end up. There's probably a way we could do that. But we definitely can put the top fair lead option on this. I don't know if we have any of those handy.
No,
but it's our normal top fair lead that'll be on there, and then you can put, you know, route your winch line through that and do whatever you want. With some further development, you know, going back to Alex's question about doing a servo mount, we'll look and see. I'm not sure how much space there is there. I don't know. Let me see if I have a servo handy. Here's one, just a regular servo. I mean, I think it'll fit, but it's super tight, and that's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but that's something we may look at. Obviously, I mean, it's kind of cool. I like the way they did this motor cover, and this way they got like little belts and stuff on the front of the engine. For you guys that don't have these in hand, it's kind of cool. So, I mean, if you put a servo winch on there, you know, obviously you're not going to see it when the body's on. But yeah, I may look at that. It's something I can maybe draw, and it might be a plate that we can just tack on to any of these bumpers. You know, we can tack, because these are all going to, like I said, once again, these have no adjustment. So if we know they're going to mount here, then basically whatever this top plate is could be the servo winch plate. So we may entertain that. So good suggestion, Alex.
Oh, I think that's all the questions. Somebody had asked about JT sliders, if you're doing those, but I'm not 100% Sure.
JT. Well, I mean, I don't know what they might be asking for.
Yeah, it might just be a matter of getting some measurements or something.
Yeah,
So yeah,
because what we're gonna, and that's with these new sliders also. We're gonna do these. You see, these have obviously they're tapered because this is narrower in the front. We're also gonna do these without the taper, and these will be able to be probably bolted onto anything SCX10 2 and newer. That's the anything that used the newer updated skid plates with all the non-smooth stuff on the bottom. So we'll probably have those out shortly. But all right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. We hope everybody's having a good weekend. And if you guys have any questions, always feel free to get us, either on Facebook or email us. And then check us out online. And there's probably some Black Friday sales coming up. So stay tuned.
Hint, hint. And then I'm going to be hopping over to Instagram right now to go live because we have a contest. So if you guys have Instagram, hop over there real quick and look at our giveaway post and try to enter real quick because I'm about to go live and choose a winner for a full ScalerFab trail armor package, which could include the new SCX10 3 stuff.
That's correct.
So hop over to Instagram and I will see you guys over there in a few minutes.
All right. Yep. Hop on and try to register for that giveaway quickly.
Good luck.
Good luck, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.